I, a 32-year-old woman, and the 40-year-old man have been dating for just over 5 years. I've been calling him Don, just to protect his anonymity. Don was one of my massage clients when he first came in, and we clicked immediately. I was feeling flirtatious and lively after ending a previous relationship, losing some weight, and returning from a solo vacation to South America. At the time, Don was getting massages once every 2 months. He had recently moved to the big city as a police officer from a smaller town. He mentioned that his recent divorce had been difficult. In order to get some distance from his ex-wife Miranda and her family, he had requested the transfer. He claimed that because he was raised in a small town where everyone knew one another, it wasn't very common for a man of his caliber to be divorcing his wife, who was raising their 2 children, a 14-year-old girl and an 11-year-old boy, at home. He claimed that for years, she had been extremely abusive and manipulative towards him. They had been together since they were 14 years old, and since it was somewhat taboo for a guy to disclose that his wife was assaulting him, no one had really taken him seriously. Additionally, his parents were somewhat ashamed of him for having left her behind. In any case, we had bonded over our recent breakups and his tough state of mind because I had also been in a controlling and emotionally abusive relationship. He finally got the confidence to invite me out to this botanical garden outside of the city on our third appointment. He finally showed up at my apartment in his police cruiser ghost vehicle, all blinged out and trying to seem attractive, and we drove fast down the highways and through the streets till we reached the gardens. It was hot and exhilarating. At the time, I'll be honest. In any case, after we had a great time together, he invited me out again. After that, we went on a couple more dates over the course of 2 months, and after that, I don't hear from him for a time. I just assume he lost interest, so I carry on happily. After a month passes, he phones me, expresses regret for not getting back to me sooner, says he feels awful, and says he has to talk to me. I think to myself, oh, here we go. I'm thinking that he's going to tell me that he's not enjoying being in a relationship this soon and that he entered the relationship too soon and all that bullshit. He's probably going to tell me he doesn't want to see me anymore. I accept to see him, and when we get to the coffee shop near my house, he surprises me by telling me that he's still married. He indicated he was in a poor relationship, and I said, "Why did you lie?" It's accurate what he claimed about her being abusive. I'm terrified, and I don't want to lose my kids, so I haven't really moved out of the house yet. I start to get up to leave, but he begs me to stay, saying he's sorry he lied, but he just hasn't felt this way about anyone before, etc. I stay and listen to him while I am entertaining him. I hate to say it, but at the time, I genuinely believed what he was saying because my former partner had left me in such a terrible situation and had abused me emotionally so severely. I understood everything he was saying because I had gone through a similar scenario. Anyway, blah blah, I ended up remaining with him, but I stipulated that this would only happen if he moved out of the house, as it was evident that he was still living with his wife at the time, and he began the process of divorcing her. All right, Don concurs. He notifies his wife that he is divorcing her within the same week. He pulls his trailer over to a friend's house. To cut a long tale short, they experience the process of separation. In my hometown, you have to be separated for a minimum of a year before you can file for divorce. Thus, during that year, Don moved in with me throughout the winter after previously living in his parked trailer. Because he doesn't want anyone to find out that he was still married when we started dating, his daughter doesn't communicate with him and he doesn't tell his friends or family about me. Well, fast forward a year, and he files for divorce. She throws a tantrum, saying she's afraid of him and what he can accomplish, or that he might harm himself. Since he is a police officer, there is an investigation, they take away his pistol, and he has to sit behind a desk until the investigation is finished. She files a restraining order against him, preventing him from seeing his children or being near the house. He still doesn't have contact with his daughter either. His parents, certain friends, his ex, and his children are aware that he has seen me by now, but they believe that our relationship is only a few months old. After around 6 months, the investigation is over, the restraining order is removed, and he is returned to active service. He has also been deployed to a different province on multiple occasions for training and work, meaning he has spent a significant amount of time away from home. I don't give it much thought. He gives me a thorough itinerary of his days and communicates with me on a regular basis. Indeed, I may have even looked up a conference or two on Google and given the hotels he claims to be at a call to confirm that he is staying where he claims to be and that the conference is real. I always double-checked whenever I had any doubts, and everything turned out. After a few years, we finally purchased our own home together, and it's breathtaking, literally the home of my dreams. Situated near a lake, the property spans approximately 4 acres. He informs me that his kid visits every other weekend and spends the weekend with us, that the divorce has been finalized, and that he has proposed to me. Everything seems well, and we are content. I make appointments to view sites and begin wedding preparations, but he acts aloof and indifferent. He keeps insisting that there is no rush, and I respond, I know there isn't, but I still want to go and observe so that we can set some objectives and know what we want when the time comes, or we can just complete small tasks here and there. He agrees, but we are unable to respond when people inquire about when we plan to get married when we visit the locations. There's no rush, he replies, we haven't set a date yet. Oh, maybe in the next 2 to 3 years, he replies. What? 2 to 3 years? I ask. Then we get into a heated argument in front of the woman guiding us around this gorgeous hall. She eventually gives us some space after picking up on the fact that I want to talk to Don discreetly. I feel very humiliated by now. Well, why did you propose to me? He asked. Because I love you. I replied, then what are you waiting for? And he admitted that he hadn't been completely honest with me. I asked, what do you mean by 2 to 3 years? Don replied, I don't want to rush into things after just getting divorced. It looks bad. What the F does that mean? I ask, and he responds that he isn't divorced yet. I call BS, and I say, this engagement is called off. He says, whoa, wait. He says, I still want to be with you. I want to marry you. I'm like, I don't want to marry someone who's lying to me. I said you've lied to me before, and I thought we were over that. In any case, long story short, I ended up telling him to pack his things and stay at a buddy's place until her, and that we were in this together. As a result, we reported. They started looking into it. I was informed that he had been placed on paid leave for domestic abuse. After a few months, Miranda called to inform me that he had been dismissed and that she had obtained a restraining order against him in order to save the children and herself. Since we had no idea what he was capable of, I ultimately ended up getting one too. He's homeless and unemployed right now, living in his trailer on his friend's land. His kids won't talk to him, his parents have rejected him, and he will never be in the police force again. His community despises him since he has been called an abusive and dishonest person. Despite the fact that I owned most of the furniture and household items, his friend had stopped by to take up the remaining items. He picked up a gun safe, a chair, a few outdoor items, and a few other little items. Throughout this entire process, Rand and I have spent a lot of time together, and we have truly become close friends. His daughter is still hesitant about me, but she is starting to warm up to me even though I completely understand her perspective. I still see the kids. The rest of the house is officially mine because I bought it out. Even after I removed the snake from my hair, I still like to have a gorgeous cup of coffee in the morning on my veranda while watching the lake. Everything in life is well. I appreciate your patience as I rambled. Whoa, OP, I really appreciate you sharing. When you can kick your lying, cheating ex to the curb and become friends with the lady he mistreated, what need is a wedding? Makes you wonder about the statistics you hear, for sure. Firefighters and police officers are probably among the professions most likely to cheat. Hey, at least you can feel good about confirming those statistics. Furthermore, it's rather amazing how you've managed to make Miranda a friend instead of a fierce rival. It takes a lot of maturity and strength to set aside grudges and instead form a supporting relationship with someone who has experienced comparable difficulties. Raise a glass to coffee while sipping it on your own porch and gazing out at your own lake without an unfaithful spouse in sight. That's what I consider a happy conclusion. Now,